Hey guys, Strip Trooper here with another video, and this is funny. It's time for Star Wars to end it all. Giant freaking robot. And I tend to agree. It kind of is. I mean, I hate to say that, but maybe it is time to just pack it in, call it a day. As a guy who's been happily going to theaters since Star Wars was nothing but the single movie that was later renamed A New Hope, I think it would be great if we finally let the whole thing end. Allow the screens to go dark and let what has been created stand the test of time. After reading that, you would think he means that he's an old guy, right? He's an older guy, and he saw them in the theaters to begin with, so he's saying, like, this content sucks, and we need it to just end. But listen to this. Not because there aren't more stories to be told, but because the stupidest, most narrow-minded, most intolerant and hateful corners of this crippled fandom have learned how to monetize the myopic, pseudo-intellectual vomit they call criticism, and are making not just the Star Wars fandom, but social media and the internet as a whole an even uglier and more threatening place than it already was. Oh, dude, so you were old enough to go to them in theaters, and you're a beta male. Oh, how did you become a beta, bro? Why? I really thought he was going to be like, yeah, there's just too much content, it's oversaturated, they've been putting out too many shows, the hype is... No, it's the fandom. My hurt fifis. I don't want my feelings being hurt anymore, so you need to shut it down so my feelings won't get hurt. Buddy, listen. It's not pseudo-intellectual. It's criticism. It's criticism. Legit criticism. And those big channels that people like to target, like whether it's Nerdrotics or whoever, Star Wars Theory, whoever, they give you valid criticism. Yes, they joke around about the woke and stuff as well. But if you really watch their videos, which you probably never have, they literally break the shows down and critique them. And I do the same thing. I very rarely discuss the sort of woke stuff. Very rarely, and in my tweets, almost never. Very rarely. I break down the shows, all of my reviews of every episode of the Disney Plus shows. I'm breaking down what is happening in the plot and what is happening on the screen in a critical manner. It's not pseudo-intellectual. It's pseudo-intellectual to you because it hurt your feelings. And you're a grown man who can't handle the fact that people are going to criticize crappy stuff. And give credit where there's good stuff. There's just not a lot of good stuff. Have you ever withstood the verbal abuse from an acquaintance, perhaps even a family member, who would criticize you for anything you did or said? Literally anything at all, any word, any movement, any sound? No, but I've definitely been criticized for stuff. But if I'm being criticized by an acquaintance online, I give zero poop stains. I do not care. I have a thick skin. I'm not some little weakling loser. So I've been called every name in the book online, and I don't care. I don't even know these people. Now, if my family member was calling me names, I would have something to say. But if my family member is criticizing me for being an idiot or doing something dumb, I deserve to be criticized. I deserve to be. If they're being overly critical about something that isn't a big deal, then it would bug me and I would say something. But still, so what? That's called human communication. Like, what is this? This is like the most beta male article ever. Bro, like, people disagree with stuff. That's life. And for every person that criticizes Star Wars online, there's people saying how great it is. So, who cares? Let them have their thing. The critics will do their thing. But I think this sort of dovetails my last video about all the shills freaking out. Is the problem with the shills is, and with this guy I think too probably, is that they don't actually have a way of explaining why it's good. So they're angry with people like me that can explain why it's bad. With actual facts and logic and reason and taking you through the stories and the problems with them. But what the shill clan do, the people that are like super into it, and there's nothing, listen, there's fans that like it It's all good. I'm talking about the people on the other side of the spectrum online, the YouTube channel, stuff like that. I'm not talking about the average everyday fan that just likes it. They will say, this is the best ever this. And they never explain why. Because they don't have a good reason why. They just say it is. Right? The Acolyte had the best lightsaber duels ever. Why? You never say why. You just say they're awesome. So that's the problem for you guys. And that's why you're butthurt that there's criticism. Someone who makes you so horrifically self-conscious. Listen, man, you shouldn't be online then. Because being online is a nasty place. Again, people call you names. I've been called every name in the book. If you cannot handle it, you need to go away. There's lots to do in life outside of being on the internet. Someone who makes you so horrifically self-conscious that you just can't stand to be anywhere near them. Because even resorting to complete silence and inaction around them will attract verbal abuse. Who are you talking about, bro? Like every showrunner for Star Wars comes out and says stuff about it and gets involved and promotes and gets like for example, Amanda Stenberg literally made a music video. She was very much engaged with what was going on. She wasn't hiding in a corner. So she's going to get criticized. That's the way it is. Daphne Keane hasn't really done much, and I don't see much criticism of her at all. She's been very professional. Same with the Squid Game guy. He's been very professional. Manny Jacinto has been very professional. He says, yeah, I'm disappointed. I wish there was a season 2, but he's not attacking fans. He's not being an idiot. He's being professional. And all those people have been criticized very harshly. And some of it was childish, and they shouldn't have been criticized that way, but they keep their mouths shut. They stay professional. You can't let your feelings come into this. We're grown adults. Like, this is the way it is. That is the Star Wars fandom as it exists today. Attacking people that don't say anything. Who's doing that? Who? I would love to see receipts of somebody just attacking somebody that's not involved. Star Wars needs to end because the franchise cannot do anything without hate. Guys, listen to this. These are TV shows. Oh, the hatred. It's a TV show. Buddy, have you never hated a TV show before? You just think every TV show that's ever came out was awesome? You've never hated one? You never thought any of them suck? If Star Wars releases a movie, a television show, a trailer for a movie or a television show, concept art, a snippet of an interview from a director, a tweet of a movie poster, a gameplay video, an action figure, a comic book, a collectible popcorn bucket, anything, it is met with a wall of hate. Not criticism, hate. Again, I disagree. I think there's a small portion of people that no matter what they release, they're just going to have tweets like, this sucks. But that's just the same as the shills that are like, this is amazing, and they don't explain why. If you're going to say it sucks, you need to explain it. Because what he's right, it's not criticism if you do that. It is just like hating on it, which is true, but it's also not criticism when you just say it's great and you don't give a reason either. It's the same thing on both sides. And then there's all the rest of us in the middle on various levels of sort of the spectrum of, are you actually criticizing or are you just being a dink? So, or are you just saying things are great, or are you actually being critical and saying why they're great? So there's a whole thing in the middle. This is a small group of people. Who cares? Who cares, man? I have reply guys on Twitter that just hate me for no reason, and they just respond to every one of my tweets with some nonsense, you know. And I've only blocked a handful of people, and the only people I blocked were people that started talking about my family, because that's where I draw the line. You can make fun of me all you want, I don't care. So again, grow a pair, dude. Like, who cares? And guys, it's not a mystery. We all know what it's about. Oh, here we go. And he puts a picture of Reva. You know what he's insinuating. Because, you know, criticizing Reva's character, which was piss poor, means you're racist. It's a stupid character. And basically sidelined Obi-Wan Kenobi in his own show. Sorry, man. Like, her skin has nothing to do with it. And actually, Moses Ingram, for all intents and purposes, is an okay actress. She just was either directed poorly or just didn't dedicate herself enough. Personally, I think it's the story sucked and she was directed poorly. Star Wars needs to end because the first teaser for The Force Awakens featured a few seconds of a black guy in a stormtrooper outfit, and a brainless crowd of Star Wars fans acted like Immortan Joe finding an empty hand. Who? Show the receipts. Like, everyone says this stuff. You know, Stenberg comes out, all the racists. Marie Tran. Dude, show us the tweets. Show us the DMs. Show us. You never show what any of these people said. You just make these claims. And again, I'm sure there's a few of them out there, but it's very few. Star Wars needs to end because Obi-Wan Kenobi cast a black woman as an imposing, threatening villain, and an army of YouTubers whispered hallelujah and got their videos ready to get enough hate clicks to fund their hentai appetites. See, and then you go to the ad hominem, right? Their hentai appetites. You go to the ad hominem, dude. And you are what you claim they are. You claim that they're just, making things up and just hating on somebody and making fun of them, and then you do the exact same thing to them. So you're the same. Just like those YouTuber shows in my video yesterday. You guys are all the same. And again, if you watch my reviews of Kenobi, at no point do I mention anything to do with skin tones. It's all just the story and the character. And she was written really badly. And that's one thing I will say for these actors. I do feel bad for them in the sense that they are involved with projects that are poorly done and poorly written characters. However, I will say this. Some of them sign up before they know what their story is going to be because they're just so excited to be in Star Wars. So I do kind of feel bad for them, but you got to read the scripts. And if they did read the scripts and still signed up, then they don't have good awareness of good scripts. Like, if Moses Ingram read her role in Kenobi, read the things that her character was going to say and do, and thought that was good, that's on her, man. You shouldn't have signed up. It's a crappy character. Like, simple as that. Her blackness has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. And I don't know anyone that said that it did. And again, in none of my videos I said that. It's all about how stupid the character was. Star Wars needs to end because once the fandom found out the open world game Star Wars Outlaws would feature a female lead, the reaction to the news was like, what would happen if Nintendo had a press conference just to say, actually, no, Zelda is a dude. I haven't seen anything about it other than people saying it's a cheap knockoff of Han Solo and they just made Han Solo a girl, which it kind of looks like. And if that's the case, that's laziness. It's not that she's a woman that's the problem. It's that they're lazy. Oh, we need a cool scoundrel character for our game. Oh, just make Han Solo, but make it a chick. That's lazy, right? Like, write something else. Do something new and different. No, it's back to Tatooine with Han Solo in a female body, right? Like, that's where people get irritated, is the lack of creativity. And I will say, like, the model that modeled for her should be very upset. She's a very beautiful woman, and then the developers just, like, made her this, like, very whatever looking chick, which I'm fine with a mid chick in a game, but why did you get this really, 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 really beautiful woman to model for her and then just wreck her face and make her look weird? That's weird. So anyway, those are legit criticisms. This isn't, you guys are the emotional ones. You're getting emotional because you can't handle legit criticisms. Star Wars needs to end because the haters can talk about bad writing and canon and fight choreography and CGI and pacing all they want, but we know what it's really about. No, that's literally what it's about. That's literally what it's about. This is fantastic. I can't believe I found this. I've been an entertainment writer and editor for a while now, and I've written and/or edited tons of stories about the harassment, including the death threats endured by Ridley, Kelly Marie Tran, Biega, Moses Ingram, and Amanda Stenberg. Show me the receipts, bro. None of you guys never do. If that's the case, let's go, Giant Robot. Let's see some receipts, man. Let's see the death threats. Because, a death threat is actually illegal. You can put someone in big, big, big trouble for a death threat. So where are all the people that are in court over death threats to these people? There's none. Where? Because that didn't happen. You're lying. You're making things up. Star Wars just sucks, and you're so entrenched in this idea that it has to be good, even if it sucks, that you make up a lie that there were death threats. Because if there were, once again, it's illegal. You can get in humongous trouble. Why wouldn't any of the people that gave death threats be in court right now? And where are the receipts? Why don't you show us, buddy? I don't think there are any. I think you're lying because you're just such a beta that Star Wars has to be good, and anyone who says it's bad is giving death threats and hates someone based on immutable characteristics and blah, 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 even though it's bullcrap. Why don't you debate somebody? Debate me on some of my criticisms. I'd love to do that. Any of these shills. I would love to debate one of you guys. Because you're just so emotional, it'd be a beatdown. It wouldn't even be a debate. Yet somehow I do not believe I have ever written, edited, or even read stories about similar harassment endured by Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Ewan McGregor, or Ray Stevenson. Because it's made up, and those guys don't make stuff up. They're legit dudes. They're good actors, and they don't do that. They don't do that. And by the way, I rip Kylo Ren's character to shreds in multiple videos. I make fun of his pouty face. I make fun of him. He was a crappy villain. He sucked. Poe's character was okay, but he turned into a loser in The Rise of Skywalker. You know, just like, oh, Rey. You know, he's like he can't be the top pilot. It has to be Rey. Ewan McGregor, the Kenobi show blew. It was awful. He sucked in it too. Well, that's not true. His acting was okay, but he sucked in it in terms of his character, how it was written. Ray Stevenson was really good, but again, his character was okay, but the whole like non-Sith thing, even though he does everything Sith do, was lame to me. So again, he's trying to project that people hated Rey because she's a woman, hated Kelly Marie Tran because she's Oriental, hated John Boyega because he's black, and Moses Ingram, and then hated Amandla Stenberg because she's a 50% black or something. No, not even close. None of this happened. Again, until I see receipts, these people are making this stuff up. Gee, what a divide. I wonder what differences I can sniff out between those two groups. What an impenetrable mystery. Dude, you are just in your own head right now, man. You gotta stop and think. For a guy who's supposedly written and edited stuff, your critical thinking is really terrible and you're just emotional. Star Wars fans are about to threaten to kill children. Oh my word, you guys. This is... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Star Wars needs to end because sometime within the next few weeks, the hateful part of the fandom will flood the social media pages of the young cast of Skeleton Crew with death threats. Again, if that happens, show us the receipts. Death threats are illegal. Go through the process. Personally, I don't even tweet underneath any of the actors ever. Like, I don't even know if I've ever actually responded to a tweet from any actor in anything Star Wars other than maybe Mark Hamill. I think he's the only one. I'm trying to think. That's just a waste of time. They don't care about me. And they don't care about my videos. You do, this guy writing this article, it's all like freaking out over nothing. Yeah, I'm going to criticize the show. I've already criticized the trailer. Again, just like I said earlier, it's got nothing to do with immutable characteristics. It has to do with the fact that it just looks lazy. It looks like they went the easy route and they didn't get creative on it. The backdrop is a modern suburb from Earth, and it's lazy. So as far as the story goes, it could be cool. You know, I don't know, but it does look kind of lazy. You know I'm not wrong. It's just a matter of time. I don't know that you're wrong, but I certainly don't know that you're right because you don't prove anything. You just say stuff. The harassment and the threats probably won't even wait until the Skeleton Crew premieres on December 3rd. Disney Plus will release another trailer. Then maybe one of the child actors will say something in the trailer that someone like YouTube Star Wars Theory will speculate might, maybe, possibly, if said in the correct intonation, if uttered while Mercury is in retrograde, could just maybe force helps us all contradict canon established in one of the 1980s Marvel Star Wars comics that included the green talking rabbit. But what would be wrong with that? That's not a death threat. Like, you're equating death threat and racist to, hey man, why are they doing something that breaks canon? That's not the same thing. But you guys are trying to gel those two, to coagulate those two things together because you can't handle criticism of Star Wars right now. Your head's exploding. What do? We can't have an actual debate. Why don't you debate Star Wars Theory about it then? We can't actually talk about the real lore or anything like that. So everyone who criticizes Star Wars is a bigot. If he says something about something, if one of the kids comes out and says, we did this in this show, and what they did is contradict canon, and he says they contradicted canon in the show based on what the kid said, that's literally just saying what happened. That's not bigotry or, like, you guys are nuts. Then that will be it. Star Wars needs to end because something as trivial as that will be enough for the uglier part of the fandom to think this totally justifies traumatizing children. And then they will. What are you talking about? So this is like a total, like, hardcore communist perspective, okay? And I don't like to get political. Saying that if you criticize something that leads to this, so therefore you're not allowed to criticize. Right? That's what communist governments do. Criticizing the Chinese government will lead to this, so therefore you're not allowed to criticize the Chinese government. Right? So the guys that give the death threats, supposed death threats, haven't seen receipts, but let's say they're there. The guys that give the death threats are not responsible for them giving death threats. It's Star Wars theory saying that they broke canon. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And there's a lot of people like this that think this way. No, the person giving the death threat, which I don't think exists, but let's assume it does, is responsible for the death threat. Not a guy criticizing a friggin' show, dude. Like, you guys are mental cases, dude. Star Wars needs to end because it will end anyway. Who do you think is going to keep putting up with this? I don't even know what that means. I don't think it needs to end. I think it needs to be sold, and everything Disney has done needs to be erased from canon and start over. That's what needs to happen. Here is the only way Star Wars doesn't end. If somewhere there is a completely undiscovered island... No. Star Wars is going to end because their ratings are garbage. The Acolyte's in the toilet. It's losing money. They're losing subscriptions. That's what's going to end Star Wars for Disney. But you guys are going to blame guys on Twitter and YouTubers? You really think they have that much power? You think YouTubers have that much power? If YouTubers had power, why do all the shows suck? They're not doing anything YouTubers want them to do. So, what are you talking about? Like, you really think that, eh? That YouTubers have the power to make a show suck? Or to make people not like a show? I'm very critical of Andor. Okay? I have a okay little following on Twitter. And many of the people that follow me disagree with me on that. I have no power over their opinions. Like, what are you talking about? Here's the only way Star Wars doesn't end. If somewhere there's a completely undiscovered island populated by a tribe of people who somehow have been exposed to Star Wars, and for some reason the entire tribe has become nothing but aspiring actors wanting to appear in Star Wars projects, while at the same time they have not been exposed to any media other than Star Wars, including the stories of fandom harassment. I think if they have critical thinking skills, they'll still think a lot of it sucks. I mean, that's just... I don't know, that's my prediction. Because eventually, guys, no one's going to be willing to show up in these movies and shows anymore. Why would they? Well, yeah, I've been saying that for a while. Why are these actors signing up for these garbage plots and garbage roles? The writers are terrible. Why would any actor want to be in Star Wars right now with how garbage it is? But it's my fault. Or it's somebody criticizing its fault. It's not the writer's fault. They're perfect. Everybody who's involved with Star Wars is just flawless and does everything right. Like, do you really think when Adam Driver says he wouldn't come back to Star Wars, it's because of fandom harassment? No, he thinks it's stupid. He said it's stupid. In interviews, he's basically said that it was dumb. The ending was dumb. He was asked on Jimmy Kimmel if Han and Leia were like worse parents than the Menendez brothers because they churned out this character. He's like, yup, and started laughing. Like, he thinks it's dumb. Look at all the actors at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, the reaction, right? She's like, oh, without saying any words, what's your reaction to the end of the movie? And they were all just like, oh, making cringe faces. That's why the actors won't come back, because it's garbage. It's nothing to do with YouTubers. In fact, the actors agree probably with a lot of the YouTubers. Like, I'm sorry. The only ones that don't, the Amanda Stenbergs of the world are just arrogant, and they can't handle the fact that their character was shite. They can't handle it. And so they get mad. If there are anybody out there that was being bigoted, then absolutely. I get it. I haven't seen the receipts of that. But she's mad because people think the show sucks, and her acting was bad, and that might not even be her fault. It might be the way she was directed, but she makes the same face in every scene. Every single scene. She had one scene where there was actually some drama and emotion with the twins coming together where they get upset and stuff like that. It was one little part, about 2 seconds. Other than that, it's wood plank. That's a criticism of her acting ability or the director behind it. That's not a criticism of her as a person. But she took it personally and then made her stupid music video. Because she can't handle criticism. If you're going to be in the public space, especially as an actor, you have to be able to handle criticism. Adam Driver handles criticism. I didn't like his character. Some of his acting was quite good, but his character was lame. And he just takes it and goes, okay, my character was lame. And it's kind of corny. And the ending of Rise of Skywalker sucked. Yep. Like, that's professionalism. You just want everybody to be emotional or what? This is insanity. Saying yes to starring in a new Star Wars project, especially if you're not a white guy, is the same thing as saying yes to intense trauma. Show us the receipts, dude. Show us the receipts. And what white guy? What white guy? They don't have white guys anymore. The only white guys that were in Acolyte had like 4 lines of dialogue and then died. And then they had a whole bunch of white guys like with them on whatever that planet was where the Gimp mask guy kills everybody. They had a bunch of I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 white guys that were Jedi that all got killed and had no lines. So there are no white guys. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm telling you right now, if Rey had been a white dude and had automatically been powerful without training and without doing anything and knowing Jedi mind tricks, not even knowing what the Force was, if it was a white guy that did that, she would that guy, the character, would have gotten the same criticism. 100%. People would have said, whoa, wait a minute. This person this guy didn't even know that there was Jedi mind tricks. What the heck is going on here? This is insane. How did he beat the Sith Master when he just found out about the Force yesterday? This is crazy. That's what we would have said. The exact same things. The stories are garbage, bro. I'm sorry to say. They're garbage. The only thing traumatizing the actors is the writing. I'm not stupid. Disney paid billions for Star Wars, so it won't end. What does it say? Star Wars is going to because there are so many other things for the fandom minutes to watch. I'm not stupid. Disney paying billions for Star Wars, so it won't end. But if it did end, there is still so much for people to hate, who hate all the current Star Wars content to watch. I think all of Friends is streaming on Max. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Supernatural. Is Cops streaming anywhere? It's probably streaming somewhere. Plenty of chances for you to see plenty of people who look just like you and they're the only heroes. Dude, you are racist, man. You people that are like obsessed with skin tone, you're the real racist, man. You're racist. You are. You're a mental case. You're nuts. You're nuts. You think everybody cares. Remember that Morgan Freeman interview in the 90s? Late 90s? Remember that? When he said, stop talking about it. Stop talking about race. And you guys just can't shut up about it. That's all you talk about. That's the depth of your intelligence. You can't look at something and criticize it. All you can do is say, skin tone good, good. Skin tone bad, bad. That's literally your entire mental process. You and all your shill buddies. Wow, it's crazy. Yeah, I hated Lando. I hated Lando in the original trilogy. You guys are so stupid, dude. You guys are literal idiots. It's hilarious. Have you seen the trailer for Tires? Watch Tires. I haven't watched it, but judging by the trailer, that thing is whiter than the opening credits of Friends. They'll be there for you. Yeah, and so is BET, bro. BET's blacker than whatever. Like, no one cares. No one cares. Except you losers that can't handle the fact that Star Wars sucks. And Disney ruined it. Wow. What an article. Amazing. But this article encompasses the shill. So I did my last video about the shills, like their video reaction stuff and some of the tweets. But this article is the shill. This is the whole encompassing thought process of the shill. That was fantastic. That was like an expose on how not to be if you're involved in either a critic, a writer, whatever you are, involved in the entertainment business in any way, shape, or form. Don't be like this person if you want to be a normal human being. Do not be like Micheline Martin. Actually, that might be a woman. Actually, I don't know. I don't know when Michelina's is a Italian pasta brand. I don't know. It's a last name, so I don't know. I guess it's a first name too. But anyways, don't be like Micheline Martin, because your brain is rotting. It's getting smaller by the minute. You're only using a tiny little portion of it. So the rest of it is just kind of atrophied. So don't be like this person. This article was fantastic. This is the best expose of shilldom I think I've ever read. Thank you, Micheline Martin. And guys, let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel and have yourselves a really good day.